Well, hey there, gang. Jim Jacobus here. Hope this finds you well. It is Wednesday at the Grand Design National Rally, and we are doing the follow-up we promised you at our class on Monday about transitioning to full-time living. First things first, thank you so much for attending. We really appreciated it. We had a lot of fun on Monday. We had a great time yesterday. We'll also be doing that follow-up as well. For those of you who came to the transitioning class, if you want to catch the follow-up to our Chart Your Course class we did on how you do RV trip planning, don't hesitate. You're welcome to watch that video. It'll be here on the Facebook group or YouTube channel. Everywhere you would find us, you'll find that recording. You're welcome to take a look at that, as well as the slides and everything. That's how when we do programs, that's how we do it. But today we're going to follow up to the transitioning class, if you will. And you'll find this is not a full-blown presentation. It's not an hour long. We're just going to be hitting some of the high points on this. Christie's not here with me. She's actually at another seminar this morning that she wanted to go to. And I'll do these follow-ups myself. But again, we appreciate you joining us. We would love it if you enjoy what we do to like, subscribe, and share this content. We are in the process of trying to grow a Facebook group and a YouTube channel. And if you enjoy what we're doing, we'd love it for you to share with other people, and we'd love for you to follow us. So, but no high hype promises of the world-changing information. Just we want to do what we can to help you enjoy your RV travel. So when we talk about this subject, the first thing we started off with a little bit about our story, and I'm going to give you the thumbnail sketch of that. We did buy our first travel trailer. This is a 33-foot Outback. We bought it on a lark on Valentine's Day of 2019. And Valentine's Day happens to be our anniversary. It was not on my radar screen. It had popped up on Christie's radar screen about 3 or 4 months before, when her cousin had posted on Facebook he was selling it. And she was kind of like, I'd like to have it. And I was like, I wasn't into it. But about a day or so before that, he had actually messaged us again and said, hey, look, I'm trading it in on Saturday for a brand new one, and they're giving me, X number of dollars for it. I'll sell it to you for that price if you want it. And previously, he'd been asking for a lot more than that. And so this seemed like a pretty good deal. Christy was interested. I learned to pay attention to things my wife is interested in. And we decided we would drive to Yoakum, Texas, and take a look at it. So on Valentine's Day, we drove to Yoakum, Texas, took a look at it. And long story short, we hooked it up and hauled it home, petrified. All right. I'm hauling this 33 foot, I can't remember which one it was, pull behind my F-150. And I look back now and realize I was way overloaded. But I didn't know. I didn't have any idea. We took it home, parked it in front of the house that night, went camping that weekend, and it was a cold, rainy, nasty, ugly weekend at Huntsville State Park, and we had a great time. It was so much fun. It was just something we had not done before, and we were like, wow, this is so cool. And so we started camping. We camped like 6 out of the next weekends, and then about 3 months later, we were camping at Lake Livingston State Park, sitting on the, there by the water, watching the sun go down and sharing a bottle of wine. And Christy looked at me and she said for the third time, over a couple of weeks' time, she says, do you think we could live in one of these? And I go, you're serious? She goes, yeah. And I go, yeah, absolutely we could. And so we started the process. We bought our Grand Design Momentum 399 toy hauler, having never even put our foot inside one of them, but we had seen lots of YouTube videos, and we'd gone up and down the stairs of hundreds of RVs, looking at them, trying to find out what we wanted. And we kind of narrowed it down to a few choices. And so we bought the 399, ordered it from the factory through Crestview RV in Buda, Texas. Can't recommend them highly enough. It showed up right after Thanksgiving. We picked it up in December of 2019. Christy finally retired from 35 years with Memorial Herman System in Houston in late May, and in June we were on the road. All right, so we went full time pretty quick. Our transition was pretty drastic. We lived in a 3,000 square foot home. It was full of stuff, full of stuff. Christy had 2 careers as a nurse and as a marriage counselor. I had my business that I've been in for 32 years as a full-time speaker, trainer, consultant to sales organizations. We had community on top of community on top of community through church and classes we taught, and just tons and tons of stuff that we were busy about there in our neighborhood. We're very active in things, playing racquetball and pickleball, and Christie was in junior service league. I mean, just on and on and on and on and on with tons and tons of stuff. And of course, we had friends everywhere, neighborhood. I mean, it just really, really deeply entrenched in a sticks and bricks lifestyle, as are, most people would, nothing out of the ordinary, but just really deep into it. So we decided to go full time. And that transition was from this, all right, to this. 430 square feet, minimal amount of stuff compared to what we had before. Now we realize it's more than enough, way more than enough. And what we had before was like crazy. There was a freedom that came with getting rid of the vast majority of our stuff. We held on to a 10 by 10 foot square storage unit, and we put everything that was really, really valuable to Christie in it. I would have given everything away. That would not have worked out very well because Christie had some things that she was not ready to get rid of, and we were smart to get a storage unit. And so we moved everything there, but everything else we sold, gave away, threw away. Our travel plan is we work on the road. I still work in my consulting business. People keep asking me, when are you going to retire? I go, from what to what? I love what I do. Christie is an online counselor, works for Talkspace and BetterHelp. While we're on the road, we both make good money. So that allows us to do what we want to do and kind of kicks the can down the road when we have to use our retirement. So we enjoy it. Plus, working while we're on the road actually, I think, makes our travel experience richer than if we were just trying to vacation every day. And we vacation plenty, but we still work as well. Our travel plan is pretty simple. We do a third of our time down in South Texas, where my in-laws live, Christie's mom and dad. We love them. They're in their 80s. We like taking care of them. We love our time down there because we, again, have tons of friends. No, but a third of our time is up in Dallas-Fort Worth area where our grandkids live, along with our son and daughter-in-law. And then we spend about a third of our time on the road. Now, that kind of flexes a little bit, but nonetheless, that's our travel plan. So we are really focused on how do we build new communities, and part of our new community is our Grand Design family, our rally families, our pickleball families, our Facebook group families. And by the way, if you've not shared our Facebook, gone to our Facebook group and joined it, we would invite you to come join the Facebook group. We'd invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have a podcast that you can subscribe to. Tons and tons of things. You can go to JoyHauling.com and watch all of our videos and everything. We'd love to have you follow us. And if you enjoy what you're seeing and you're having fun with it, and you feel like we're doing a good job, do us a favor, subscribe, like, and share. If not, don't worry about it. We're not trying to, we're not out here hyping or anything like that. We are trying to build a community. We are doing this with a lot of intentionality. And if you like our stuff, we'd invite you to join us. So, we met tons of new friends, everything, and we tell everybody the same thing. We love full-time living. It's not for everybody, all right, but we love it. So that was our transition. We feel like there are 3 critical skills that are helpful in this transition. And again, background is Christie's been a marriage counselor as well as a nurse now for a long time, not as long as a nurse, but well over 15 years as a marriage counselor. I taught divorce care in our church for more than a decade, 3 times a year, 13 weeks at a time. We've done tons and tons and tons of marriage work. We have a marriage podcast called Your Marriage Matters. Welcome to go check that out if you want. So we're really deeply involved in helping people develop great relationships. And so when we look at full-time living, the same 3 things we would teach in a marriage workshop as being critical are what we teach in our that we think it takes to be full-time in a RV. Now, what I would tell you, and Christy and I have kind of batted this around a little bit, is will this make your marriage or will this ruin your marriage? The answer is there's no way to know. We have some good friends who were struggling in their marriage and started traveling in an RV, and it really kind of put them on the right course, all right, kind of put them on the right path. And we have friends that are full-time RVers, and they're going to go back to sticks and bricks because it's ruining their relationship. So will this make or break your marriage or your relationship? Can't promise either one, all right? What we can promise is if we get good at these 3 skills, it's certainly going to give us the best chance possible. And they're pretty simple. We're not going to do full-blown marriage deal here, but one is communication skills. Learning how to be a great communicator, being transparent, being open, being effective, and also includes being a great listener. Those are the kinds of things that are going to make living in an RV full-time, 430 square feet or whatever size your RV is, better for sure. And if you do want more on that, go to our Your Marriage Matters podcast, and you'll find half a dozen that we've done there about communication with some really detailed skill sets and things like that we teach. You're welcome to go do that. The second one is learning how to solve conflict and problems together. You may not have a lot of conflict, but this travel is going to create problems. You're going to have things that happen with travel, things that happen with the RV, weather, all kinds of things are going to create problems for you. And as a couple, and as an individual, by the way, first thing, agree with communication as an individual. Learning how to solve problems and resolve conflict is a great skill set to have. Makes us better at work, makes us better at family, makes us better with our communities. It makes us much, much better in our relationship. And the better we get at it, the more confidence we have in our partner as we travel. Christie and I have gotten really, really good at problem solving. We're trying to solve a problem this morning, and I just love the way we do this now. And we've not always been that good at it, but we're really good at it now. And one of the things we love about it is to give us the confidence that says if something comes our way, we're going to take care of it. We'll take care of it fine. And so again, if you want to go to Your Marriage Matters, you'll find a bunch of things we've done over there on conflict resolution with some really heavy duty skill sets as well. So you can go there and check that out. And then the last thing is learning how to create a shared vision. Now we talk about this in our travel thing that we did yesterday, the RV trip planning. Christie has her bucket list. I have my bucket list, and we have our bucket list. And we are both very respectful of all 3. We call ourselves Team Jacobus, and I know it sounds kind of cheesy and everything, but when we say Team Jacobus, here's the deal. We believe our marriage is more important than either one of us is individually, and if we focus on what's in the best interest of our marriage, then we both individually wind up getting out of the relationship what we want. Now, that means sometimes Christie wants something I don't want, but I support it. Sometimes I want something she doesn't want, but she supports that. We really focus hard on identifying what are the things we want together. And that becomes our shared bucket list. But by that becomes a shared vision. And then sometimes there may be something I want to do, and Christie's going, I don't like that idea. All right. I don't like it, even if it's just for you. And I'll do the reverse of that. And we both have gotten to the place where if she doesn't think something I want to do is a good idea for me, then I'm going to take a double hard look at it because she knows me better than anybody, and she knows our marriage better than anybody. So anyway, those critical skills, communication, conflict resolution, and creating shared vision. And of course, if you want to go to Your Marriage Matters, you can find some really detailed stuff over there on how to create a shared vision as well. So those are 3 fundamental skills we feel like are really important. Now, the process we use to do a number of things in our relationship and our life are this acronym IDEA. And Christie told you guys in the workshop, she loves acronyms. She's been teaching nurses forever. I hate acronyms, but I like this one. All right. And it's basically inspiration, discussion, education, and action. We had an inspiration. We discussed it at length. We researched it and got educated about it at length. And again, we're talking about discussion and education. We discussed what kind of RV, we discussed what kind of truck, we discussed what kind of travel, we discussed how we're going to handle problems, we discussed how do we take care of family, we discussed connection, we discussed and educated ourselves on countless things that I'll cover some of those here in just a minute. We feel like you need to at least talk about. But at the point in time we decided to get after it, then we took action. All right. And we are very different when it comes to take action. Once we decide, we're all in, both of us. All right. I am very quick to do things, and Christie's a little slower, a little more cautious to do things. And quite frankly, again, we've learned to respect that in each other. And there's times when I let her slow me down and I make fewer mistakes. And there's times when she jumps in and goes as fast as I want to, which means we are able to take advantage of opportunity without letting go by it. So that is our process that we use. And we feel like for those of you that are out there that are considering it, and those of you that are already full-time, these are 6 really good questions to ask yourself, or 6 conversations to have over dinner, over a bottle of wine or whatever. Be careful if you're doing a bottle of wine, because she may say, do you think we can live like this? And the answer is yes. And boom, there you go. But the questions are, first thing is, why are we doing this? Why are we going full time? And for us, there was a very practical side in that we lived in Houston. Her mom and dad were in South Texas, and we wanted to be there for them. Our kids and grandkids are in North Texas. We wanted to be there for them. And we were getting ready. We were in no man's land in Houston, not close to either one of them. And we were actually going to buy a house in Dallas, Fort Worth, and move there. And then try to figure out how to be available for mom and dad. And I look back now and realize that would not have worked. It would have been a bad idea to buy a home near the grandkids. They're busy. They got a lot going on. We'd have done that. We'd have seen them, of course. I'm not saying I wouldn't see them grandkids. I'm just saying that would not have worked. And we'd have been a long way off from Christie's mom and dad, who really need our help a lot right now. And so we just have left, being down in South Texas for about 5 or 6 months because we had some stuff going on down there. And it was good to be there for them. And then we went up and saw our grandkids. It was good to be there. And now we're on the road. It's good to be here. So pragmatically, it helped to solve the problem of how do we be in 2 places at one time. But also, we're very adventurous. We always have been, about life, about work, about careers. And now we're adventurous about lifestyle. And we, like I said, we are having a blast. So second big question is, what's your budget? And again, you can make this work if you've got a small budget. And certainly you can make this work if you have a large budget. What I would tell you is, if it's a small budget, you may have to get a smaller truck, a smaller RV. You may not be able to go all the same places. You may not be able to stay everywhere you want to stay, but nonetheless, you can do this. All right. And if you have larger resources, obviously you can do those things as well. But what I would tell you is, figure out what you can afford to do, and then buy the truck and the RV and do the travel schedule that works for you. There are plenty of places out there that you can work camp, meaning you will not have to pay for the place to stay at all. If you don't mind exchanging some work for the place to stay in order to stay in Yellowstone or fill in the blank. I mean, you can work camp pretty much anywhere in the country. We did some of that. We did 4 months as park host for Brazos Bend State Park, and we loved it. All right. So what's your budget, and what can you do within that budget? Next thing is, what's your setup going to look like? What size RV? What's the floor plan? What's the one that works for you? And then what size truck do you need to haul that with? I'm not going to any kind of big truck discussions. I had a little fun with that on Monday and found out that it goes nowhere. But bottom line is, here's what I would tell you: buy enough truck that you can haul the RV more than safely. All right. If you're going to buy a truck, make sure that it's not on the edge of being able to haul that RV. Make sure it's overkill from a safety standpoint. What are your travel plans? We have ours, a third. What are your travel plans? Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? How often do you want to be on the road? How often do you want to be sitting still? There's all kinds of pluses and minuses there. The big one is, how do you get rid of your stuff? And that is, again, going to be an individual answer for everybody, because how much stuff do you have? How hard is it to get rid of your stuff? Do you want to sell it all? Do you want to store some of it? Do you want to store most of it in case you need to come back to a house at some point in time? We sold everything, gave everything away, or threw everything away other than what we could put in a 5x10 storage shed and what fit in the RV. So that was our plan, but you're going to have to figure out what your plan is. And I can tell you, it may or may not be easy for you. But quite frankly, we knew why we were doing what we were doing, and we knew what our plan was. And so it was just a byproduct of, we'd made a decision. So, and then, what would be your plan B if something happened? All right. Not what if we quit? Okay. I don't want you to go into this going, what happens when we quit? I'm not saying that. Our plan B is, what happens if either one of us are not physically able to do this anymore? And that would be the only thing that would keep us from doing it. Certainly we have Christie's mom and dad to take into consideration. We're going to be there for them. That may change our plans a little bit, but we don't plan to get off the road for any other reason than physically we're not able to do it. So those are what we think are the big questions. And then you've got tons of other things you got to ask yourself as well. How do you stay connected with family? How do you stay connected with, how do you build a community of your own as you're out and about? Also, how do you stay connected from an internet standpoint? That's the $1 million question, if you will. How do you establish domicile? There are several different options out there. We establish domicile through escapees and living. There are others out there. There are some in Florida. There's some in South Dakota. They all have pluses and minuses, but there's a solution out there for you. How are we going to handle insurance? Okay. What are we going to do about health care? In our case, Christie has a health care plan that we're not too happy with. I'm on Medicare, so I have a great one. I love mine, and it's been super for us as far as that's concerned. I have no concerns about mine, and Christie will be able to fully retire here pretty soon, and we'll get her over on the same thing. And then what's your lifestyle going to look like? I mean, all the tons and tons and tons of things, and there's all kinds of other questions you'll have to answer as well. So again, inspiration, discussion, education. Inspiration, discussion, education. But once you've got it down, take action, move forward. So last thing I want to put on the deal here, it says 3 most important things we learn. I add something. This is an amazing country we live in. I don't care where we go. It is incredible. All right. You can spend a month in Omaha, Nebraska and never run out of things to see. I guarantee you. People everywhere we've gone been awesome. We've just found great human beings, Americans everywhere we've gone. We've enjoyed that part of it all. And we found out, quite frankly, there's never going to be enough time. So we're doing everything we can to take the most of it. We said this lifestyle not for everybody, but we love it. You choose to do it. We hope you love it as well. If there's anything we can do for you, don't hesitate to reach out. You can connect with all of our connection options, YouTube, Facebook, podcast, JoyHauling.com, all of those by clicking the QR code here. You'll also get my email address. You'll get my phone number. We are glad to help you any way we can. We're always going to be here. We thank you for the time you spend listening to, watching, whatever we're doing. And again, if you know somebody that might benefit from it, there's our deal. Like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate that. If you have any questions about what you've seen here, just put it in the comments below wherever you found it, and we'll be glad to help you any way we can. Hope you're having a good one, guys. Bye for now. Take care.